he decides to make him his heir. Now, when he dies, he tells him his wealth, his property will go to Ithamar. Of course, he's lying to him. He wants to buy his loyalty. He wants him to do things for him, without even thinking about it. So Ithamar is happy, and he accepts to do anything he wants him to do. And Barabbas tells him about his evil plan. What is his evil plan? His evil plan is to poison the nuns, including his daughter. Notice that he wants to take revenge on the nuns, including his daughter. So they decide to send food to the nunnery. It was like, a habit among the people in the city that because these young women are devoted to God, to the service of the Creator, so they send them food for free. But because they cannot get into the nunnery because it is full of young women and elderly women, the tradition was to leave the food behind the door from outside, and they would open the door and take the food into the nunnery. This is as a charity, and because they don't want to have fame or to have any worldly gains from this act. So it is not required that the person who brings the food should announce his name. You can just go and knock on the door, put the food behind the door, and then you leave. And no one knows who put the food. And no one actually is interested to know, because they know that people are doing this out of charity. They are doing this out of charity. So this is what happens, in Act 3, Scene 4. Now, in Scene 5, we go back to the Senate, where the governor actually is, conversing with the bashos of Kalimath. The bashos now are back to collect the money. A month ago, he asked for, some time to collect the money, and now it is the due time. So the bashos are there to collect the money from the governor of Malta. We said this is a great amount of money, 10 years of tribute the Maltese have to pay to the Ottoman Empire. Now we know that Del Bosco, he came and he said to the governor of Malta not to pay them the money, and when he gets back to Spain, he will tell the king of Spain. In that time, Spain was so powerful to help the Maltese and to send his army to fight the Turks, and stop them from invading or conquering Malta. So we have here the the basho talking to the governor, Act 3, Scene 5. So open your book if you have the book that I have, the New Mermaids edition. It is on page 65. Page 65, Enter Governor Martin Del Bosco, Knights and Basho. Governor, welcome, great Basho. How fares Kalimat? How is the emperor doing? Kalimat, the son of the emperor. What wind drives you thus to Malta Road? Yani, what brought you here? Notice he's talking in a different way now. In the previous meeting, he was, begging them to give him a grace period. But now he is, asking, what wind drives you thus into Malta Road? The wind that bloweth all the world beside desire of gold. That means we are coming here for the money. Desire of gold, great sir, that's to be gotten in Western Indies. Now, it was, known in that time that America was the country of the gold. Whoever wanted to be rich, would go to America there, because the people who came back from America were spreading the news that gold is everywhere in America and so on. So he is saying to him, if you want gold, then go to the West Indies. In Malta are no golden minerals. We don't have gold here. Basho, to you of Malta, thus saith Kalimath. He is, delivering a message from Kalimath to the governor of Malta. The time you took for respite means grace period, is at hand. That means it is now time to pay for the performance of your promise past. You have promised and you need to keep your promise. And for the tribute money, I am sent. I am here to collect the tribute money. Look how the governor answers back. Bashos, in brief, shalt no tribute here. You have nothing here. I'm not going to give you anything. Nor shall the heathens live upon our spoil. You are, notice that he is now calling the Turks as heathens. Heathens is the name that, if you want to translate it to Arabic, it is equivalent to Wathaniyin. So according to the Christians, the Muslims were Wathaniyin, were heathens. So now, nor shall the heathens live upon our spoil. That means we should not be giving our money to heathens. First, we will raise the city walls ourselves. That means we will defend our own city by ourselves. In that time, every city was surrounded by a high wall to defend it against its enemies. Lay waste the island, hew temples down, and shipping of our goods to Sicily. Open an entrance for the wasteful sea, whose billows beating the restless banks shall overthrow with their refluence. He's saying to him, even if we are forced to destroy our own city and to migrate and leave this city going to another place, we are not going to pay you the money. And then the Basho says to him, well, governor, since thou hast broke the league by flat denial of the promised tribute, talk not of raising down your city walls. You shall not need to trouble yourself so far, for Salim Kalimath shall come himself, and with brass bullets batter down your towers. He's saying to him, you don't need to destroy your own city by your own hand, because our emperor is coming and he will do that for you. That means he will destroy your city. And he leaves, So this is how Act 3 ends. Now we are in Act 4, when we have the two friars, talking about what happened with the nuns. Okay, now if you turn the page, on page 68, they are talking about the crime that happened in the nunnery. What happened in the nunnery? The nuns have eaten from the food, the poisonous food that was sent by Barabbas via Ithamor, and they all died. We are looking now at Abigail, who is dying now. Okay, Abigail is dying. So on page 68, Abigail, the middle of the page, Abigail is talking to the two friars. Look what she's saying to the friar. Abigail, so I have heard, pray therefore keep it close. That means keep it secret. Now, before she dies, it is very well known in the Christian faith that if you have a sin, if you have something you have been hiding, you need to bring it out so your soul, rest in peace. So she is saying to the two friars, so I have heard, this is what I heard, pray therefore keep it close. That means keep it between you and me. Death seizes on my heart. Ah, gentle friar, convert my father that he may be saved. Now she wants them to convert her father to the Christian faith so he be saved from hellfire. And before that, actually, he tells them that, the top of the page, she tells them that it was her father who plotted the challenge between Matthias and Lodwig was the cause of their death. Let's read it. The top of the page, page 68. Abigail, my father did contract me to them both. That means he has promised both of them to marry me. First to Don Ludwig, him I never loved. I myself did not love Ludwig. Matthias was the man that I held dear, but I loved Matthias. And for his sake, I did become a nun. So say, how was their end? Tell us how they were killed. Both jealous of my love, this is Ludwig, both means here Ludwig and Matthias, envied each other, and by my father's practice, which is there, sit down at large, the gallants were both slain. That means, and she gives them the paper, the message from her father to Ludwig and from her father to Matthias, asking each other for the challenge. So now the friars, they know the secret of Barabbas. What is the secret? That he was behind the death of Ludwig and Matthias. Okay, now we get to Act 4, Scene 1. Enter Barabbas with Ithamor. Yalla, now we want readers. Who wants to read? Raise your hand. We want one to read Barabbas and another to read Ithamor. Then we have two friars, Friar 1 and Friar 2, Priest 1 and Priest 2. That means we need 4 people. We need 4 people. Okay. Sarah, you read Barabbas. Salsabil, you read Ithamor. Umama, you read Friar 1. And Razan, you read Friar 2. Yalla.
What Abigail become again? False and unkind. What? Hast thou lost thy father, and all unknown, and unconstrained of me? Art thou again good to...
Sarah.
Yes, Doctor.
احنا في Act 4 Scene 1 اللي هو بيبدأ باراباس ويقول there is no music to a Christian knell how sweet the bell.
تمام. آسفة.
Yeah.
But there is no music to a Christian knell.
No.
How sweet the bells ring now the nuns are dead. That sound at other times like tinker's bands. I was afraid the poison had not wrought, or so it wrought, it would have done no good. For every year they swell, and yet they live. Okay. Now all are dead, not one remains alive.
Okay, now let me explain this to you. What is he saying? He is happy to hear the bells of the church ringing. Why is he happy? Because, as I told you before, in their time, they had no internet or telephones or TVs to announce the death of someone. So they used to ring the bells of the church announcing the death of someone in the village. So the bells were ringing continuously because, you know, at least 20-25 nuns were poisoned by Barabbas. So here Barabbas is, you know, showing his happiness, and he's telling us that the sound of these bells are like music in his ears. Now these bells, you know, used not to please him when they ring them on Sundays, but now he is happy because he knows that, you know, the nuns are dead now. And he says that he was worried that the poison might not have worked on them. Why? Look what he says. He is accusing the nuns and the priest of having sexual relationships. He's saying that I was afraid that the poison might not have worked on them because every year they get pregnant, illegally, of course. Now they say they swell, yani they have big bellies, yani they get pregnant. Every year they get pregnant and they go through the abortion process. That means they get rid of their babies in the dark of the night, and they don't die. In their time, it was a very risky thing to try to force the baby to come out of the womb of the mother. But as he says, these nuns, because they have illegal sexual relationships with the friars, they get pregnant and they don't want to be scandalized, they don't want to be known. So when they get pregnant, they secretly abort their babies. And even though abortion was very dangerous to the life of the mother, but they never die. They never die. That's why he's saying, that he was afraid that the poison might not be strong enough to kill them. Ithamor, يلا Ithamor.
That's brave, master, but think you it will not be known?
يلا Barabbas. Sarah.
Doctor, how can it if we too be secret?
For my part, fear you not,
I'd cut thy throat if I did.
and reason too. But here is a royal monastery hard by. Good master, let me poison all the monks.
Thou shalt not need, for now the nuns are dead. They will die with grief.
Grief.
Do you not sorrow for your daughter's death?
No, but I grieve because she lived so long and Hebrew born and would become a Christian. Cazzo diavola.
Okay. Now, what's going on here? Now, the secret of the second crime is now between Ithamor and Barabbas only. Now, he warns Ithamor not to tell anybody. And if he did, he would cut his throat. That means he would kill him. Now, Ithamor, to make his master happy, he's saying that he is also willing to poison the monks. The monks are the priests, the friars, not only the nuns, to show that he is loyal to his master. But Barabbas says to him, don't worry, we don't need to poison them to kill them, because they are going to die out of grief. Why out of grief? Because the nuns are dead now, so they will die because they will have no women, around them. Now enter the two friars, Friar 1 and Friar 2. Yes.
Look, master. Yeah, look, master. Here comes the religious caterpillars.
I smelled them ere they came.
God, a mercy knows. Come, let's begin.
Stay with Jew, repent, I say, and stay.
Thou hast offended, therefore must be damned.
I fear they know we sent the poisoned broth.
And so do I, master, therefore speak them fair.
Barabbas thou hast.
That thou hast.
True, I have money. What do I have?
Thou art a.
That thou art a.
What needs all this? I know, I'm a Jew.
Thy daughter.
Thy daughter.
Oh, speak not of her. Then I die with grief.
Remember that.
Remember that.
I must need say that I have been a great usurer.
Thou hast committed.
Fornication, but that was in another country, and besides the wench is dead.
Hey, but Barabbas, remember Matthias and Don Ludwig.
Why? What of them?
I will not say that by a forged challenge they met.
She has confessed, and we are both undone. My bosom inmate, but I must dissemble. Oh, holy friars, the burden of my sins lie heavy on my soul. Then pray, you tell me, it's not too late now to turn Christian. I have been zealous in the Jewish faith, hard-hearted to the poor, a covetous, rich. That would for lucre's sake have sold my soul. 100 for 100 I have taken, and now for store, for wealth may I compare with all the Jews in Malta. But what is wealth? I'm a Jew, and therefore am I lost. Would penance serve to atone for this my sin? I could afford to whip myself to death.
Okay, thank you all. What's going on here? Now, while they are talking about the nuns and how they murdered them, how they poisoned them, the two friars come to them. Now, the two friars, they know the secret of the death of Lodwig and Matthias. They are coming now to accuse Barabbas of being the murderer. Now, when they start talking in a way hinting that they know something, now Barabbas is scared that they might have known that they were the ones who poisoned the nuns. And Barabbas starts to, show that he is willing to convert to Christianity and so on and so forth. And when they say to him that they knew about what happened to Lodwig and Matthias, he says that he is going to convert to the Christian faith, and he will be giving all of his wealth to the church that would accept him. We know that Friar 2 and Friar 1, they belong to two different churches. We know that, in the Christian faith, we have the Protestant and we have the Catholics. Among the Catholics, we have probably 10 other factions. Under the Protestants, we have 10 factions. So, and each faction has its own church and its own rituals. So Friar 2 and Friar 1, they happen to be from two different churches. And Barabbas is very wealthy. And he says that he will be giving his wealth as a type of showing regret and showing, to redeem himself from this crime, that he will be giving his wealth to that church. Now, what happened is that the two friars, each one now is competing with the other to take Barabbas to his own church. Why? Because he will be getting the money. Now, of course, Barabbas doesn't want to convert, and he is faking. He is showing this as a plan, the same way that he made Lodwig and Matthias challenge each other and kill each other. He's playing the same game on the friars. But here we have money. There it was love that made them fight with each other. Here it is money that would, make them fight with each other. And his plan actually, works, because he asked one of the friars, he says to one friar, come to me at home at midnight and I will convert to your church and I'll give you the money. And he takes the other one with him to his house, making him feel that he will be, in his church and he will be giving him the money. Now, when they get home, Barabbas and Ithamor, they kill that friar and they wait for the second one who was supposed to come at midnight. Okay. Now, after they killed the first friar, they put him, on the road to the house of Barabbas. It is night time. It is what? Night time. And we know that friars usually, they put on long black gowns. So they made the body stand on a stick, as if here the friar is standing in the way of his friend to prevent him from getting to the house of Barabbas. Now, again, it is night time, and the second one cannot tell that his friend is dead and is being put on that stick. He, gets the message that, Barabbas wants him to get, that his friend now is trying to prevent him from reaching to the house of Barabbas. So he hits him with his stick, and of course he is already dead. So he falls down to the ground, and at that moment, Barabbas and Ithamor, they appear on the spot, and they accuse him of murdering the friar, and they take him to the court. They take him to the police. So in this way, they are able to get rid of both Friar 1 and Friar 2. Their name is Giacomo and Bernardine. So Giacomo and Bernardine now are dead. The first one was killed by Barabbas and Ithamor, and the second one was killed by his friend. Okay, sorry. The second one, after believing that he was the one who killed his friend, was taken to a court of justice, and by this way they got rid of him. Okay, now in scene 3, page 78 here, we have Ithamor. Now, as they call it nowadays, Ithamor now is the black box of Barabbas. That means he is the one who knows all of his secrets. He is the one who knows all of his secrets. And we know that Ithamor is attracted to a courtesan. Courtesan means a prostitute, a woman who makes money, via her body and, walking in the streets to allure a man or so. So here Ithamor, and we know from last time that the market of these courtesans is now at ebb. Why? Because the Turks are besieging Malta and no ships are coming to Malta. So no customers, because the sailors were their, major customers for these courtesans, and so they are not making money. Ithamor is the servant of the wealthy Jew, so she knows that Ithamor can get her money from Barabbas. She pretends that she loves Ithamor. She pretends that she loves Ithamor, and she asks him, along with her, guard or the bodyguard, Pilaborza, to steal from his master. Let's see how Ithamor, reacts when they ask him to go and steal from the money of his master. Who wants to read? We have Salsabil and Dua. طيب. Open your book, page 80. Page 80, we have Ithamor, Pilaborza, and the courtesan. Dua will be reading Pilaborza. Razan will be reading Ithamor, and we need a third one to read the courtesan. The third one is Salsabil. يلا. قرأت أنت قبل شوية سلسبيل صح؟
دكتور قرأت.
طيب. بس خلينا نسجل الأسماء. مين اللي قرأوا المرة الأولى؟ سارة وسلسبيل ومين كمان؟
رزان جنايدة دكتور.
رزان جنايدة، ومين الرابع؟ أمامة. طيب. أمامة عباب. أوكي جود. أوكي خلينا نعطي فرصة للناس اللي ما قرأوا يا سلسبيل. نزل إيدك. طيب الآن قلنا دعاء. بتقرأ مين؟ دعاء. Pilaborza. مين بده يقرأ لنا إيثامور؟ مين بده يقرأ لنا إيثامور؟ تقوى رجوب. اقرأ لنا إيثامور يا تقوى. ماشي؟ سامعي تقوى؟ وبشير اقرأ لنا. لا خلينا نخلي بشير. طيب اقرأ لنا الكورتيسيان يا بشير. يلا. دعاء وتقوى وبشير. إلى بورزا إيثامور وذا كورتيسم. يلا يا دعاء اقرأي من صفحة 80. إلى بورزا is saying this is the gentleman you read to.
ثواني دكتور.
يلا احنا بسين بأكت 4 سين 2. أكت 4 سين 2.
And let me alone.
لا.
Doctor, can I say something?
Say something.
Bashir wrote that his mic is not working on the
Okay.
chat box.
خلينا نعطي ل أرجوانة.
دكتور اقرأ مكانه.
سامعي أرجوانة؟ أرجوانة ما بتردش أرجوانة. طيب آية عبابنا، سامعي آية؟ آية عبابنا.
سامعة. اقرأ مكان بشير.
اقرأي مكان بشير.
نعم
انتي.
دكتور معه.
يلا اقرأي مكان بشير.
طيب
الله يسجل
ماشي.
اسمك. يلا.
طيب
اللي تقرأ بلا بورزا صفحة 80 بالكتاب اللي معي يبدأ This is the gentleman you read to. يلا يا دعاء. This is the gentleman.
دكتور.
يلا.
دكتور مش ملاقيتها.
لا لازم تلاقيها. ما نقول لك Act 4 الفصل الرابع
صفحة
Scene 2 المشهد الثاني تفتح فيه
أوكي
صفحتين.
اوكي لقيتها.
يلا go ahead.
This is the gentleman you write to.
يلا يا
إيثامور.
تقوى. يلا يا تقوى.